I got a special treat for you today. I want to show you how single page apps and client-side navigation can be achieved using RedwoodSDK. So over here we have a page, SPA page 1, and if we click over here we navigate to page 2. The page doesn't reload. The layout stays static, unchanging, never alone, always populated by props, always populated by children. Alright, so I click these two and I can transition to between those two pages. I go back, I can go forward. So how this is working is we are overriding the browser's native ability to navigate. Then we are sending a request to the server-side worker, which renders out React server components, the flight data. Then we give that flight data to the client-side React, which computes the diff computes the diff. All right. Let's have a deeper look at what this is actually doing. So when I click on a link or when I invoke a navigation event, we send a request to the server. That request responds with the new page contents. That's something called flight. It's a RSC format and it is understood by client-side hydration. So the client-side hydration reads this flight format and then diffs out the parts that matter and makes them interactive and imports JSX components over the wire, a whole bunch of stuff that it does. So this is the flight. So that's the request, page 1 __ RSC, that we use to say, just send me the RSC payload, don't convert it to HTML, stream the RSC payload to me instead. Let's have a look at this. So when I switch to the next page, you'll see it swaps out a whole bunch of stuff. Here it swaps out the title, page 1, page 2, and if we actually look at the contents, move my face out of the way, you'll see that it is swapping out the elements here. We're also using a ViewTransition. So this is a brand new API that's supported in Chrome and a whole lot of modern browsers, but not Firefox. It doesn't produce any problems. It just doesn't produce the nice diffing animation that you see here. It's more of a direct switch. So what you see here is these contents are getting swapped out and the static stuff remains the same. So in other words, if I had to put a video in here in the layout and that video were playing, if we navigated between pages, the video would continue playing as long as it wasn't swapped out, which it wouldn't be. So let's look at some code. All right, I have my worker here and I've imported my single page app routes, and the single page app routes renders into a single page app document. And then I have my layout, and then I have my page 1, and I have my page 2. So let's have a look at that document. The document simply imports SPA client.txx, and that's sort of where the magic is. That's where we are interrupting the flow, the client-side flow, and we are introducing our new behavior, which goes over the wire, fetches the payload, and does all the other stuff. We're using a little bit of a hacky method. I'm showing you the internals of RedwoodSDK. But for your purposes, we will bundle this up into something a little more meaningful, but I just want to run you through the code so that you understand what's going on here. So here we have the client-side initialization. This essentially initializes React. We say to React, hey, we are a React page. There is some flight data on this page. We've got to handle interactivity, all that cool stuff. And then underneath that, we handle some navigation stuff. So we say, hey, when there's a click that happens, opening, override it with these two functions. And the result is that this little function is called at the end of that flow. So I click this thing, the URL changes, and then it calls my function. And then I call this global function, which is __ RSC call server. What this function does is it creates a fetch request to the server, gets the RSC payload, hands it off to React, the client-side React, and says, here's some new content, render the difference between these two things, the previous page and the new page. And in this way, you are actually able to support client-side navigation and single page app, but the source of truth is still the server, so you get that snappiness. I just quickly want to illustrate, let's quickly have a look at the layout as well. So here we're using unstable view transition from the latest version of React. This is the experimental version of React. You are able to specify what you want the animation to be, and simply the stuff in between here are animated in the slide in, slide out. So I can actually take this out, save that, and then let's refresh the whole thing. Now, are we getting that transition? I think we are. Maybe that's a default. I'm going to show you what it looks like in Firefox. Then you will see that there is no transition. Oh, this is the wrong app. Page 1. This is what it looks like in Firefox. So it's just a direct in and out, but there's no reason why you couldn't animate this yourself. Why would you use this? So maybe you are diving down a tree of files, or there's some sort of hierarchy, and you don't want the page to constantly refresh. You can do something like this, and you will just get the computed differences, and it will feel like it's a single page app. I hope that's helpful. This code is available. It's open source. I will share the link at the bottom of this tweet. Thank you.